What's up guys? In today's video we're going to cover down on injectors, mainly about injector recall. So you've seen them on the forums, you've seen it online. An injector recall has been issued for the BMW E90, 92, mainly based around the N54 engine. So what does that mean? Where did that come from? Can you get brand new injectors put in? You know, there's a couple variables that I found after talking to BMW and then going through my own experience that will probably help you. So here's what's going on. I've been fighting leaking injectors for a little bit. I went online, picked up a set of used -11 injectors, changed the seals, the decouplers, recoated them, and unfortunately, so I would smell fuel when taking my spark plugs out, mainly on cylinders 3 and 6. And I knew that they were still leaking even after all the work that I did to the car. So at that point in time, I was also seeing the stuff about the injector recall. Figured it wouldn't happen. I have an 08. I figured there's no way a modified 08 N54 could just go up to the dealership and get injectors put in for free. So, but I called BMW, I gave them my VIN. They called me back later in the afternoon and said I had 4 open recalls. I had battery cable, high pressure fuel pump programming, the injectors, and the blower motor, the one that causes the fires. I did not know that was not done. Call your BMW dealership if you recently bought a BMW and see what open recalls are out there. Do the VIN check online, but since I'm located overseas, I have a GCC spec car, not any VIN decoder will tell me if there's been any recalls that are open on my vehicle. So I called. They told me to bring it on in, they'll make an appointment, and they need to keep it for a day and let me know. Well, they called me back a day later and said that in fact my injectors were bad. At that time I had 3 index 9s and 3 index 11s on different different banks. So I said, all right, cool. So they took a day or so with parts, and they actually had to order the battery cable to bring in later. But I picked the car up. It's running smooth. It, could be a placebo effect, but I could tell the power is a little bit more linear. I don't know. No hiccups. Could be up for debate if the new injectors played any role, but idle was always fine. Wide open throttle was a hit or miss. If I would get a misfire, which I ended up chasing down to a few different things. That's another time for another video some other time. But I get back home, pop the engine cover up, sure enough, all index 12s. I check the flow rates, plug in Pro Tool, and sure enough, they're all coded correctly. Now let's get down to the facts. The recall, was it done with the recall number that I gave them, that I found online? No, it was not. That recall that we see floating around was a reissue. It reissued the recall out. This is coming from BMW. That's what they told me, that they reissued the recall out to vehicles that possibly have never had it. I was lucky enough that this vehicle has never had that injector recall performed on it. So once I took it in there, my recall was actually done under the old recall number, which at that time, it may have been when they were putting 6s or 9s or 7s in. However, I was fortunate enough that I did it in a time that 12s, the latest and greatest, they're the ones getting it done. So that's what they put in there. So my takeaway from this, guys, is to basically call your BMW dealership. Ask if you have any open recalls. If they say no, then 9 times out of 10 you've already had the injector recall performed and you probably will not get it again. But you never know. That's based off your local BMW dealership. I can just tell you from my experiences and my experiences alone that I called, they said yes, brought it in, changed them, and lucked out, and 6 new -12 injectors installed into my N54 E92. So that's gonna wrap it up for today. Again, I'm trying to make a little bit more different content that's out there. There's a lot of great guys making good content. I just hope this will help you out, explain a little bit of my experience and what you may be able to do in reference to the N54 Injector Recall. As you can see behind me, BMW is torn apart. Still have the turbos out. The compressor housings and the chars are in the UK getting machined and balanced and sent back to me. I'll start the rebuild process and get this guy put back together. So on that note, don't forget to like and subscribe to see the videos of me putting this thing back together. Thanks. Talk to y'all later.